Hey everybody, I thought that the video was awesome. There are no other words to describe it, but the family overall, I thought that each family was very determined. They were great supporters of their children, like parents should be. And the mothers, I give my hats off to them because they are very strong, and it took me back for a minute because it was kind of sad to see how the mothers struggled every day to present themselves in a way that their children wouldn't see that they were struggling within themselves to keep it together. And like one mother said, she had to be strong so that to be strong and to advocate for them so that they could do it themselves. And I understand her point because if you're a parent and your child has this disease and day after day they see you crying and they see you sad, and internally they're going to feel the same way. So I really enjoyed that. And all the children, even with their limitations, you could see that they still held strong. They still wanted the best for themselves. And I know one of the sisters, she was a writer. The twin boys, and you can see the bravery in the guy Ben, that he wanted to beat this. He wanted to fight for it, and he changed that way. Even though he died, he still wanted to fight for it. And even in the little 10-year-old kid, you could tell that he still wants to do the things that other children do. And he was playing basketball. He loves to swim, and he loves his dog. And I enjoyed that part too. I know that I don't have a pet, but I know that some people do, and their pets comfort them when they're feeling down about things. From the clinical aspect, I noticed the same thing in all of the parents when they first noticed it. They all said that the children were typical clumsy children, and I'm clumsy, but apparently this is a characteristic that you could look for in children with ataxia, and to point them out if you have suspicions about it. And even the differences among the siblings were so strange, even because the twins and the two sisters, and the sisters were kind of close in age, but the twins, for them to be so severely impacted by this, and their characteristics were completely different, it was just eye-opening. And we should take in consideration that like we already know that no disorder are equal in any two individuals. And the range of severities I thought was really interesting. And how we could tell that that the little boy was probably had a milder symptom from all of the rest of the kids of ataxia. I could tell that all of their speech was slow and deliberate productions, and it was monopitch, and it seemed that all of them had an overall weakness in their bodies. Maybe it's just me, and I know it's dealing with incoordination, but it just seemed like overall they had a weakness. I mean, the boy that broke his arm, and she said that he had been in a cast ever since. It makes me realize that their bodies aren't as quick to heal as a typical person is. In the family dynamics, the various factors that I came up with were really kind of didn't have anything to do with the physical limitation, but it was more of how the parents felt. I think if I was one of the mothers, I'd be afraid to have more children, and I would be afraid to have more kids because I don't want to have my child struggle day to day like their other siblings have already. And I think that deep inside they kind of fear that they did something wrong, because we get parents all the time. I know I have, that said that you know, maybe it was something that I did when he was in utero, or I think I put too much pressure on him, but the kid is only 2. I mean, how much pressure can you put on a 2-year-old? But to them, they don't understand that they haven't done anything wrong. It's just how the child develops. And but from the children's standpoint, I think that maybe they fear that they can't handle anything challenging in life, or maybe they don't want to take on a challenging obstacle or fulfill a dream, because they know that sooner or later it's going to end. And that's just terrible. No one should live day to day just thinking about, oh, I can't do this, I can't go anywhere, I can't do what I want to do in life, because eventually I'm just gonna die. You know, I'm only supposed to live until 17, so I might as well have the last 2 years just to, you know, sit in my house and have a, you know, this pity party for myself, like the girl said. And another thing I think that it's an emotional strain on the entire family, living day to day, and especially trying to take care of 2 individuals with ataxia dysarthrias, and it's just really terrible. But from the treatment standpoint, from a child versus adult, I said that with children, I may be wrong, but I think we would have to focus more on controlling respiration for speech, because going through language development, they're going to need to build those. I mean, I don't really understand how we could start with articulation. I mean, it would kind of be difficult, because with young children, I think they need to start from the very bottom. And if, for example, you have like a 3-year-old that's diagnosed with this, and you know they're probably already delayed, so we have to try to find ways to build the respiratory system, control it, and then move on to those little steps. But with an adult that has an acquired ataxia, I feel that we could focus on controlling respiration and then increase to articulation. And I think this is more directed because we're trying to give them strategies to use in a day-to-day just to make it functional for them. And I think that's it. I think I've answered everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed my spiel. Thanks. Bye.